back and enjoy the action. 2 games to go before the Euros. First up, Gibraltar in Portugal. Let's cross to our commentary team, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, let's listen to the national anthems. About 2,500 Scotland fans inside the Estadio Algarve for this one, and as usual, belting out Flower of Scotland. And now it's time for the Gibraltar anthem. Right, the anthem's out of the way in Scotland, beginning to zone in on Friday week, and Germany in Munich, and the first match of Euro 2024 for the tournament, not just for the Scots, as Steve Clarke shakes hands with his opposite number this afternoon. Julio Ribas, the Gibraltar coach, who was the man in charge of Lincoln Red Imps when they beat Celtic in Brendan Rodgers' first competitive fixture, in charge of the club back in 2016. And of course Scotland came up against Gibraltar the year before twice, including here. They won 6-0 here, it was 6-1 at Hampden, and they are back inside this stadium for the first time since they played the Dutch here in a pre-Euro 2020 friendly match, which finished 2-2, Scotland twice leading. It was Jack Henry and Kevin Nisbet who scored the goals on that occasion. It was also the last time James Forrest started for his country, and he's out there on the pitch, back in the national fold after a terrific end to the season with Celtic, where he moved to within 1 winner's medal of Bobby Lennox's all-time record of 25. So the Scotland lineup tonight: Zander Clark chosen in goal, back thrower McCrory on his debut, Porteous, Hanley, Robertson, Gilmour and McLean in the middle, with Forrest, McGinn and Christie behind Shankland. Gibraltar have made a few alterations from the side that lost to Lithuania in March in their Nations League play-out matches. Over 2 legs, they lost both of those legs 1-0 to be relegated to League D, having had some success previously in League D in that tournament. Managed a couple of wins against Liechtenstein and San Marino. So when it comes to the battle of European football's minnows, Gibraltar have had some relative success in recent years. Their players are off into a huddle to the left of the centre circle in their red colours, the almost all red with white flashes. Scotland wearing their change kit this evening, really pale blue with purple flashes, purple names and numbers on the back. The Tartan Army are all in the same stand as us here. We're up in the top tier, they're down in the bottom either side of the dugouts. As you can imagine, it's not exactly a fixture that's captured the imagination of the locals here. Gibraltar's an almost 4-hour drive away from here. The British Overseas Territory, ranked currently 206th by FIFA. Not too far off their worst ever ranking. The referee's Jamie Robinson, Northern Irishman, who I believe's hanging around to take charge of Wales' visit here in a few nights' time. He's just about ready to go. Gibraltar kick off. It's rolled back the way there by their number 19, TJ DeBar. Let Scotland win it almost instantaneously there, and it's picked up by Andy Robertson over on this near side. It's his 70th cap, 10 years on from his debut in Warsaw against Poland. And what a 10 years it's been for him personally. Here's Porteous picking up in beside Grant Hanley, who's seen precious little football recently, just 8 minutes towards the end of the season for Norwich City. As he makes his way up towards the halfway line, Steve Clark's a big fan of Grant Hanley. He was given his debut by Craig Levein all those years ago in that Nations Cup tournament in Dublin. As Porteous rolls it out to Ross McCrory, first real touch of the ball for McCrory, now a full international player. He's to wait his time to get that accolade, having played plenty for the under-21s back in the day.
Big
now
game
Bristol
for him,
City. Yeah,
really big game. What an opportunity for him to stake a claim.
it's James Forrest, wide left for Robertson, low ball into the box. Shankland lays it back to McLean, and then his little square ball finds McCrory to Christie, who started on the right of the three behind the striker. It's a big switch looking for his former clubmate Forrest, but he's overhit the pass, and it sails behind for a goal kick to Gibraltar. Nothing each in the very early stages.
I have to say, the thing I'm most delighted at is the PA system has stopped. That was an unbelievably loud PA system. We've been listening to it since we arrived at the stadium about 2 hours ago.
Not great for the tinnitus.
No, but thankfully it stopped.
Goal kick here for Gibraltar. Hankins has it, just placing it on his 6-yard line. Remember, Gibraltar's first ever competitive UEFA goal was scored against Scotland at Hampden. And Lee Casiaro is still in the squad, 42 years of age now, as the goalkeeper punts it straight out into touch for a throw-in over on this near side. So a real opportunity, as you say, for McCrory, for Shankland, for Forrest to catch Steve Clark's eye.
Yep.
Ahead of next Friday in particular.
Yes, and it's an opportunity for the players to get back into winning ways after having not won in 7 games. Yes, we've played some very strong opposition in that time, but there's been some disappointing performances in there as well. So it's a chance to go and get a comfortable win and boost the kind of confidence levels before Friday's game. As an experimental team, there are players playing that you wouldn't expect will play come the Germany game. But it's an opportunity to catch the manager's eye, as you rightly say.
Free kick Gibraltar in the centre circle, foul by Porteous. He has brought down DeBar. So a free kick for Gibraltar, who will be hoping to get some kind of confidence back, having lost those games against Lithuania. They were very disappointed with that. Ribas, the coach, has been in charge of them for 6 years now. But it's a thankless task. And their record defeat in the Euro 2024 qualifiers, when they were beaten 14-0 by France in Nice. It's a long ball out.
Deary me, it took that guy about a minute to hit the free kick there. I'm thinking, what's taking you? And then he launches it straight out the pitch. I mean, it's been a very slow tempo in terms of the start to the game. It is obviously very hot down on the pitch, and it looks a bit sticky. I didn't see them watering it before the game, but yeah, Scotland are going to need to make their own tempo here. There's no atmosphere in the stadium.
Here's Kenny McLean. He's shifting it back to Gilmore. Low ball out to McCrory on that right-hand side. Across the halfway line goes the pass to Christie. Christie driving forward, McCrory in the underlap. He's going to get onto this right-hand side. Gets the cross ball in, and then it's put behind for a corner there by Bernardo Lopez.
Good
over
play
on that right side.
Good play from McCrory, opening up his legs. He has a powerful, strong run-up. Did well to get on the end of that and crossed in for a first corner of the game.
You to overcome a bone infection in his pelvis that kept him out for 6 months, Ross McCrory, just after moving from Aberdeen to Bristol City. And he's been very much part of the side in the last few months. You can hear the rain gusting in the background. Short corners taken to Forrest on the 18-yard line. Finds Christie. crossing in, looking for Hanley again, and he's overhit it, and it goes behind for the goal kick, and it stays 0-0.
You'll not realise what you just said, but you can listen to it back. You said you can hear the rain gusting in the background.
Did I?
You did.
It's getting my weather conditions mixed up.
There's definitely no rain here. Oh,
The bright blue sky. Sorry, wind.
That has made my day.
The wind, it's howling around the stadium, but it's a warm breeze. And Scotland fans probably thankful for it.
Yeah, 100%.
Ball's played out to Ethan Jolly on this near side. Plays for St Joseph's, once opponents of Rangers in Europa League qualifying. He's going to go out in this near side for a throw, which is bowled infield and then hooked forward, but it's gone straight to Gilmour, who finds Forrest. Knocks it infield for McLean. Comes out to this left flank and then touches it back towards Forrest, but Gibraltar win it back through the striker El Hindi, was back helping out. Now it's with Jolly, and then he's just simply rolled it out on the pass back to the corner.
This is a poor side we're playing against here. It really is. They cannot keep the ball. They've only played 5 minutes, but it should be a very comfortable evening for us. But as I said, I just worry about the tempo just now. There's not been a great deal of zip and zest, and the pitch is dry, and obviously it's hot, but an early goal from this corner would do us nicely.
Outswinger for Robertson on this near side. He bends it into the 6-yard area as a man down, but it wouldn't quite fall for Ross McCrory. The goalkeeper goes down, smuggles the ball at his feet, and he holds on. It stays nothing each. We played just over 6.
Decent ball in. Scotland are generally quite dangerous from their corner kicks. Obviously Austin McPhee's the mastermind behind those, and we have seen success with set plays and corner kicks in the past.
It is Gibraltar picking up that to the goalkeeper. It's a dreadful ball out of defence. He's lucky actually because it's ended up at the feet of Ethan Jolly, but he's had it pinched off him by McLean, who finds Robertson. Now it's Gilmour, now it's McGinn. McGinn at the edge of the penalty area, gets it in, and it's flicked off the head of Christie and behind for the goal kick, with Forrest ghosting in the left-hand side of the 6-yard area. It's interesting to see that James Forrest is starting on the left. He obviously does that at club level on a regular basis, but he's more comfortable on his right side.
Yeah, he's obviously going to cut in the pitch. Just going back to that opportunity there, John McGinn opting to cross it. He was only 18, 19, 20 yards out. He should have had a crack at it. Test the goalkeeper early, tries to cross, it didn't come to anything.
Andy Robertson's 70th cap. This is his 48th as captain. He needs just one more to become the longest serving skipper in the national team's history. Rangers legend George Young had an 11-year stint as captain, 49 of his 54 caps as skipper. Robertson bypassed the legendary World Cup skipper Billy Bremner when he captained the side to victory against Spain right at the start of the qualifying campaign last March, as Porteous collects in the centre circle and sprays it out to McCrory on the right, finds Christie, and then to McCrory, and back to Porteous. Side foot pass to McLean. Little short ball to Gilmour, gives it back to McLean just outside the centre circle, and then it's out to the right for McCrory. Infield for Christie. And back to McLean. McLean's seen plenty of the ball, he'll be happy with that. Now it's Hanley left of the centre circle. Of course, Kenny McLean missed the last European Championship through injury, something Lyndon Dykes is going through right now. I'm sure he's had a word with Dykes after that bad news the other day, as Robertson picks up wide in the left and finds Gilmour. Back to Robertson, forward to Forrest at the left angle, but he's had it taken off him by Sargent, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line. Porteous firing it forward, and then to the edge of the area. Didn't quite fall for Shanklin or Christie, and Gibraltar able to get it clear, and it's picked up there by their number 10, Liam Walker. And he's given it away now. It's picked up by Christie towards the edge of the box. He shoots and the goalkeeper saves and puts it behind for the corner over on this near side. First real attempt on target for the Scots. It was Christie. It's 0-0 on 9.
He did really well, Christie. I thought he was going to slip John McGinn in. He'd made a good run into the box, but he cut inside in his left foot and let a shot go 22 yards out. Goalkeeper wasn't really testing him. Touches it behind for the corner. Out-swinging corner again from Robertson on the left-hand side. There's a header down into the ground and over the bar, and that's a huge chance. Two of them had big opportunities there. It's the two centre-backs, Porteous and then Hanley, who got the header onto it ultimately, but it bounced into the ground and over the bar.
And it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0.
He's got to score it quite simply. The ball in's delightful, just a bit too high for Porteous, but then Hanley's there, unmarked. The marking was abysmal from the Gibraltar team. He's got to score. 6 yards out. Goal at his mercy, headed it into the ground and it bounced up over the bar. Big chance.
Yeah, a couple of big chances actually in the last phase of play, their side of that corner. As Forrest goes back to Robertson, and it's the switch of play out to McCrory over on that right hand side. That's the side of the pitch that's in the sunshine. Out to Christie, who's on the touchline. Short ball back for Gilmore. He then passes it back to Hanley. He's got Robertson and Forrest on this near side. So with Robertson, his attempted cross is cut out there by Hamidi. He breaks back onto the halfway line for Grant Hanley. Little short ball for Gilmore. Back the way it goes to Porteous. Scotland coming back to come forward, and it is Porteous across halfway line. Short ball's poor. He was looking for McGinn, gives it straight away, and Gibraltar pick up there with James Scanlon, 17 years of age, on the books at Manchester United, but he's given it away. Long ball up to the edge of the box, looking for Forrest. Gibraltar clear, and it's hooked away to safety by Ethan Brito over on that left-hand side. And Scotland pick up in the midfield here with McLean. Out to Robertson. Then down the line for Shanklin, looking to get it
Good
back
play.
to Robertson. He continues his run, left-hand side of the box. It's the byline, pulls it back, and it's into the side net from James Forrest. It looked for all the money that he was going to celebrate his return to the international fold with a goal, and he'll be annoyed he hasn't there. It stays nothing each.
You're not joking, you'll be annoyed. I mean, the Hanley chance was a good chance. That is another absolute sitter. It was brilliant play from Lawrence Shanklin, coming out from a central area to the right-hand side, flicks it round the corner.
Cross that well, doesn't he, generally, Shanklin?
He does. I think his link-up plays improved dramatically. But the cross comes in, and James Forrest, 6 yards out. The whole goal at his mercy, hits the side net. And I hope it's not going to be one of those types of nights, Liam.
Surely not. Surely not. It's Forrest with the header, comes bouncing back off the Gibraltar skipper Walker, and onto this near side for a Gibraltar throw-in.
When Gibraltar do get the ball, they can't keep it for more than like 3 seconds. Scotland are pressing them well, but technically they just can't keep the ball. So we're going to have an awful lot of the ball.
It's down this near side, Forrest chasing. Jolly's there though, and he just shifts it infield to the number 6 Lopez, who's from Portugal. He naturalised as a Gibraltarian in recent times, and that's knocked up the line by Jolly, but he wasn't on the same wavelength as his teammate up there, TJ DeBar. And it's now back with Hanley. Short ball into the midfield for Gilmore again. He's got plenty of options ahead of him. It's almost like a front four there with McGinn joining in, Forrest, Christie and Shanklin. There's Forrest now, he's dropped a little deeper, passes it back to Hanley, and he squares it to Porteous. Low ball with the side foot out to McCrory on the far side. Down the line for Christie, back to McCrory, and then to Porteous. Scotland trying to seek a way through. There's like a double red wall to get through Gibraltar players as Robertson collects on this near side. Plays it to Shanklin and then back to Robertson. Infield for Forrest. Ball back to Hanley. Out to Robertson again on this near side. Forward to McLean, back out to the overlapping Robertson, taking it to the byline. So delicate little chip, but it's headed away. They're actually 3 around him there, Gibraltar. They know the threat of Andrew Robertson, and they pick up deep inside their own half with Jack Sargent, who gets it away, but they've given it away again, and Shanklin has it in the box, looking for the far corner. He's off target though, and it remains Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. That went well wide of the right-hand post, perhaps lost his bearings slightly, but
Yeah.
even though they've not made the breakthrough, they're creating plenty of opportunities. They'll just hope some of these start going in.
I'd like to think they'd be creating opportunities against this team. Yeah, I could see what Lawrence was trying to do there. He's just trying to open it up and curl it to the goalkeeper's left-hand post, but he opened his foot up too much and ended up going 5 yards past the post. A decent enough chance, a half chance, but you expect him to be hitting the target.
Goal kick then for Gibraltar, which is knocked forward, high ball. The left foot of Jalen Hankins into the midfield. McGinn battling for it, and it's a foul by John McGinn actually on DeBar. So Free kick Gibraltar inside the centre circle. Just to the right of centre. And down there, John Carver, the Scotland assistant, arms folded, steely gaze at the pitch in front of him. Gibraltar have it here with Sargent out to this near side for Jolly. Into the midfield, it's a long one from Louis Ansley, plays in Ireland with Dundalk. It's a long ball, flag's gone up on this near side. It was DeBar, and that will be a free kick to Scotland, which Porteous has taken quickly. Now it's with Gilmore. Crossing halfway. Likes to drop back Billy Gilmore to take control of possession, try and dictate from there. Finds Robertson on the near side, outside of the boot, finds Shanklin, back to Robertson. Infield for Gilmore. Turns away from his man, threads it to the edge of the box for Shanklin. Rolls it back to Gilmore, first time to Robertson. As I look up at the box, decides to play it short to Forrest. Back to Robertson, bends the ball in, it's very deep. McCrory gets something onto it, but he can only put it behind for the goal kick. A very difficult one for him to take, to be fair to him. And it stays after almost 16 minutes. Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0.
Yeah, I mean, the cross wasn't too bad. I felt as though McCrory should have gone with his right foot. He tries to hook it back with his left, and he was never going to get anything on it. I mean, I know it is a friendly, and there are no fans necessarily in the stadium, but it has a real training game feel.
Scotland have it, low ball, cut back by McLean, but blocked. McLean gets a second chance, and it's lashed over the crossbar by Ryan Christie, and another opportunity goes a begging. It stays 0-0.
Because the other chances were actually so good and such big chances, that one doesn't look as good a chance. But in international football, that's a really decent opportunity. Again, Christie putting this one miles over the bar. Let's hope we're going to get our shooting, find our shooting puts in quick.
Well, it took them till the 24th minute to get the first goal here against Gibraltar in October 15. Chris Martin got it. And it took them 18 minutes in the game at Hampden, so we've not reached that stage yet. That was a Sean Maloney penalty. As McLean turns it to Hanley, who of course was part of that era in the Scotland squad as well. He's come through a few eras, Grant Hanley, as he gets closer to the 50 cap mark. If he plays on Friday, he'd get it against Finland. As McLean picks up and gets it from Gilmore, out to the left for Robertson. Robertson out to the touchline for Forrest, level with the Gibraltar 18. Taking on the defender down to the byline, left foot cross, bounces off the defender, back off Forrest, and behind for the goal kick. It's 0-0.
Yeah, he was unlucky. Faced up the full-back. What you want to see your wide players doing, trying to get to the byline. Cross comes back off the defender, off his thigh, and out for a goal kick.
James Forrest must have doubted seriously over the last 3 years whether this would ever happen for him again.
Absolutely. I mean, he's earned it. His form for Celtic in the last few months has been excellent. He's obviously a player of vast experience and somebody who knows the international setup very well. So it's great to see him back in the international setup, and he could be a key player for us.
His last cap before this one was against the Czechs as a late substitute in the opening match for Scotland at the last European Championship. So almost exactly 3 years. High ball up on that far side. McLean gets a touch onto it and finds McGinn. McGinn rolling it here to Gilmore, who's fouled right in front of the Northern Irish referee. And this is about midway inside the Gibraltar half, slightly right to centre.
Too far for a shot. It'll be clipped in, I'd imagine. Well, they might take it quickly here. Yeah, the pitch is dry, as I mentioned earlier, and it does slow the game up ever so slightly. I just feel as though Scotland have got another couple of gears they could be getting through here.
Gilmore and McGinn are over this free kick. A two-man Gibraltar wall, as Stephen says, probably too far out for a shot despite the blustery conditions. Short ball, McGinn to Robertson, and then he slices the cross into the box. It was a decent delivery, and it's been headed behind for the corner.
He just clipped it in, he just stood it up. A wee driven low cross into the box, but the Gibraltar defender did well. Flicks it out for yet another corner. Let's see what we can do with this one.
It's the first one from over on that side, though, the Scotland right. And there is a group of players just to the left of the penalty spot that the referee is keeping an eye on right now. They wait for this corner. It's been taken short again by Gilmore to Christie. Sorry, by Forrest to Christie. It's now with Gilmour over on the touchline. Now James Forrest rolls it back to Robertson. Now this was a Scotland corner. It's ended up back near the halfway line. Here's McGinn on the left-hand side, getting it from his captain. Big cross, switch of play to the right of the box. Christie tries to head it back into the area. It's partially cleared. Scotland get it back though. Over on the far side, level with the edge of the D, it's Christie. Rolls it back to Hanley. Here's Robertson. Robertson scoops it back out towards McLean. It's going to bounce off his head. Can he keep it in play? No, he can't. And it's Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. We've hit the 20-minute mark now.
Wasn't the best ball out to Kenny. I think he's probably blinded a wee bit by the sun over on that far side. Didn't manage to keep it in. Yeah, I don't know what to make of the opening 20 minutes, Liam. We've had the opportunities, probably should be 2 or 3 up, but I do feel it is
a little bit flat.
It's hard not to be flat, given the stadium's empty. It feels so pedestrian at times.
These games are always difficult, aren't they? Because players don't want to get injured.
No, they do
ahead
not.
Of that match next week.
No, it's a fine line. You want to impress Steve Clarke with your performance, but you're also playing a wee bit within yourself to make sure that nothing happens to you.
McCrory wide on the right-hand side of the Gibraltar box again, plays it to Christie, and then it's out of play off the defender over on the far side. Olivero for a Scotland throw-in, level with the Gibraltar penalty spot this time. McCrory with it, bowls it towards McGinn, looking to hold off the defender, gets it back to McCrory. His cross cut out at source. Now it's with Gilmour who picks up the scraps. Back to McCrory, and then Billy Gilmour, who was breaking into the senior squad last time Scotland were here. He came on to replace David Turnbull for his debut. Here is Forrest. His pass forward towards Shankland's cut out, and Gibraltar get it back on this near side, where it's rifled clear up to halfway. But as what is called them, the hosts, they're of course not in their own stadium, which is being redone, which is why they're playing their matches back here again, Gibraltar. But they can't get out as Gilmour looks to thread it through to Christie. Cut out again, and then Ansley heads it out to that far side, and it goes out off Gilmour for a throw into Gibraltar. Over there we've played almost 22 minutes. No goals.
No goals. Should be goals in the game, Liam. There's no doubt we've had the opportunities. Obviously Gibraltar are just sitting in quite happily with their back 5 and the 4 in front of them. They have not come forward at all. They've not been in our final third, and they can't keep the ball for more than 3 or 4 passes. So I'd like to think we'd get a goal, or is that a water break? I think it might
water
be
break coming up here.
Probably required, I would imagine, in this heat. But I'd like to think we'd get a goal soon. The longer it goes, it just kind of gnaws away at you.
Well, Scotland have been in this kind of situation before against a minnow. As I said, it took them a while to make the breakthrough last time they played them here. It's 26 degrees Celsius right now. Not a cloud in the sky. The Scotland supporters have been enjoying their trip as the PA pumps out the tune, again. So you'll be delighted with that, Stephen.
DJ's been on fire, but especially turn it down a bit.
Scotland without a win in their last 7 games since beating Cyprus last September. That's a fair substantial length of time to go without a win. It was against a lot of top-tier sides, England, Spain, France, and then
tough games.
There were draws with Georgia and Norway, which rounded off the qualifying campaign, followed by the heavy defeat in Amsterdam, the defeat to the Northern Irish. The latter of those games, the one against the Northern Irish at Hampden, was probably the game you walked away from the most disappointed, because the performance just was not there at all, but from anyone at any level.
No, it was one of the poorest performances we've seen under Steve Clarke. And you know, I think in the other games against the kind of better nations, we had spells in each of those games where we looked okay. Obviously we didn't get any results from them, but in the Northern Ireland game from start to finish, really poor. And there wasn't, normally you have 1 or 2 players performing, hitting their peak, but every player was below par that night.
It's their longest winless run under Steve Clarke, and since the end of the Votes reign and the start of Walter Smith's in 2004 and 05, that did include a 1-1 in Spain, which was abandoned. So that was part of that run of 7. Did you play in that one?
I think I was on the bench, I remember it. Yeah, it was wild rain.
Yeah, Faddy says the goal still stands. The one who scored that one.
I would do.
If you discount that Spain game, you've got to go back to a 9-match winless run in 1997 into 98, which included the 3 World Cup matches in France, and then went into the start of Euro 2000 qualifying. So it's been a while since this kind of run has seen Scotland go so long without a victory, as the game gets back underway after the water break. And it is Gibraltar picking up on this near side, the strains of the lone piper in the stand down below us. Gibraltar giving it away. Stephen not impressed by what he's seen from them so far, as it's moved by Christie out to the left for Forrest. Into the box for McGinn, lays it back to Forrest. He's on his right side, little low ball to Christie, tries to drag the ball back. There were 2 defenders around him. In the end, he passes it straight to Sargent, and he's able to get it away for Gibraltar, who then win a free kick. De Bar is fouled by Porteous, and that will be a free kick to Gibraltar midway inside their own half.
Another half chance for Christie. Receives the ball with his back to goal in the box, 7 or 8 yards out. I'd like to see him just get a swivel on it and get a shot off. Taking too many touches, trying to be a wee bit too clever.
Yeah, it's not often when you come into these games that Scotland get the early goal and run amok. Remember that game against San Marino, the end of Alec McLeish's second tenure. The atmosphere in that game was horrendous. Came off the back of that defeat to Kazakhstan. As Gibraltar gets some rear touches of the ball in the Scotland half, and it's played back the way by Walker. And then to the right of the centre circle, it's Louis Ansley, that big tall figure in the midfield. And the mop here, wearing the number 5, played at centre back against Lithuania in March. Long ball down the left-hand side. McCrory gets his head onto it, heads it into the midfield. Gibraltar will pick up possession here. They've got an opportunity to work it forward. This is by far their best move of the game. Ethan Brito has it. Out to De Bar on the right-hand side. He's got it at the right angle. And he passes it back the way to Jolly. And now it's Walker. Little square ball, and over on that left-hand side it was Brito, but he loses it, and Scotland have it back, and Ryan Christie's charging forward on the right. McCrory on the overlap with him. That's where the pass goes. It's McCrory, little ball back, doesn't get enough purchase on the pass as he tried to bring Shanklin into play, and it's an easy one for Bernardo Lopez to clear.
The cutback was the right option. You could see it from up here. It was on, but he just got it stuck on that sticky pitch under his foot.
Robertson out to Forrest on the touchline. Level the 18-yard line. He cuts back the way into the midfield area. It's passed forward towards Gilmore. He's had it nicked off, and before he was able to take a decent touch inside the box. And Gibraltar giving it away through Sargent. Here's Forrest up to the edge of the box, can't resist the shot, and that's high over the bar from about 20 yards out, and it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0, 27.5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, poor shot from James Forrest there. It opened up nicely for him, but just kind of scooped it high over the bar. Kenny McLean took a wee knock there in the exchange just before that opportunity, and he's just kind of a wee bit gingerly walking around, but hopefully he's okay. Yeah, he's on the ball now.
And Kenny McLean on the halfway line. Short ball to Gilmore to his right, and then to his right it's Christie. Christie has it, just chopping back in field. He's still got McLean as an option, that's where it goes. McLean now to Robertson, and out to this left flank for Forrest again. Forrest certainly seen plenty of the ball. Shanklin, nice little touch for McGinn, but McGinn is met by Bernardo Lopez. It's good defending actually from the Gibraltar player, and he launches it forward up towards the halfway line. McCrory with a header, cushioned forward to McLean, and then Christie to Gilmore, and then McLean to Christie, out to McCrory. Still Scotland trying to make the breakthrough for the best part of half an hour against this Gibraltar side. Ranked over 200 in the latest world rankings. They're just a couple of places off their worst ever placing. Robertson now to McGinn on this near side, out to the touchline for Forrest. First time in field to Gilmore, back to McGinn, and then Billy Gilmore again, but he was challenged well, but it breaks kindly for McGinn, goes back to Hanley. And square ball for Porteous. It's got McCrory out on that right hand side, low ball along the grass. Comes back to Porteous. Short ball for McLean. McLean then finds McGinn. Oh, sideways passing at the moment. It's forward to Forrest. Here's Robertson. John McGinn again. Looks up, left foot, bending it into McCrory. Little header from McCrory where he's put it over the bar. I just wonder if he got caught in two minds there.
He's got to take a touch.
Yeah, he could take it. Feasibly take the ball down there.
Yeah, 100%.
Stays nothing each. Half an hour played.
He should take that down in his chest. He goes for a header back across goal and gets it all wrong. It's a good ball in from John McGinn, and McCrory had taken up a really decent position in that right-hand side. Yeah, just the wrong decision from him.
And Gibraltar have lost their last 12 matches without scoring. And does include that 14-0 against the French. The French actually, it was just 3-0 when they played here, and the Dutch have been away to Gibraltar, and that was a 3-0 as well. So it's not always that they ship ludicrous number of goals in matches. Scotland finding it a little bit frustrating at the moment. Here's Christie getting it from McCrory over on that right-hand side. Plays it back in field to Gilmore. And now Robertson. Again, Forrest's out in this near side touchline. Forrest on it now, taking on Ethan Jolly down this near side. He's found Robertson at the byline, chips it back, and the header from McLean is high and wide. Another opportunity, and Kenny McLean will be furious with himself he's not got that in target. If it's in target, he's probably scored.
He's got to get it on target. It wasn't the easiest header you'll ever see. It was really good play down the left-hand side between Robertson and Forrest. He gets to the byline, clips it into Kenny, who's got a header from about 6 yards. The goal at his mercy, puts it wide of the post. Really should be hitting the target. These are big chances, really are big chances. And you know, we're talking about chances against the teams that we're going to be facing in the Euros. You might only get one of these chances, maybe about 6 or 7 so far. So it needs to be a wee bit sharpened up.
They were actually quite profligate in the game in Amsterdam, weren't they? They'd
couple, yeah.
Shanklin in particular, obviously, he's one-on-one with the keeper. He hits the bar and clips off the top of the bar. On that occasion, Christie had a good chance in the Amsterdam arena as well, Johan Cruyff arena as it is now. As Gilmore finds Porteous, he's in the Gibraltar half, out to McCrory on the right, down the line for Christie. It's level with the 18-yard line. McCrory goes on the overlap, Christie tries to cross, but it's cut out over on the far side by Ethan Brito. And a Scotland throw-in, which Christie takes quickly and bowls it back to Porteous. Porteous then to Hanley. And he squares it left of the centre circle for Robertson. Big ping ball out onto the chest of McCrory. He does well. Finds Christie. Bends it in. It's a good ball by Christie. Everyone left it and it just goes wide.
Yeah, it was a fabulous ball in. Ryan Christie on his left foot, in swinging towards the goalkeeper. Kenny McLean had made the run late into the box. He was just a fraction too late to get anything on it there.
Still no sign of a Scotland goal, though, if you're just joining us here on Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland Extra, 810 medium wave on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. The Finns visiting Hampden on Friday. That's live here on the radio, of course, as you would expect. It's also live on BBC television. Scotland against Finland. The big send-off. Here comes Scotland again. McGinn to Christie, gets it forward to Shankland, and he hits it first time and over the bar. And it stays 0-0, 12 to half-time.
Got a touch of deja vu here with these chances. Every one of them, again, a decent opening for Lawrence there. His movement was good. It's angled shot, probably about 16 yards out. Should be hitting the target. Gets underneath it, scoops it high over the bar.
Well, they're better missing the chances today than
I would say
on
so.
Friday week.
I would say so, Leo.
They're not going to be getting... I mean, they've had 5 or 6 glorious opportunities in this match so far. They're highly unlikely to produce 5 or 6 gilt-edged chances in the Allianz Arena next week.
Yeah, you would doubt that. Yep, absolutely.
Throw in here for Scotland down this near side. Robertson to take. And right above him as he bowls it back to Hanley. Hanley finds Porteous, part of the Watford squad that finished 15th in the EFL Championship and the season just finished. And there's McCrory and Porteous. Switches it left of the circle for Robertson, who's moving over to the right side himself. Finds his opposite wing back, McCrory, and now Gilmore to McCrory on the right-hand side. Shankland is in the box. If they can find him. Christie looking to flick it back towards McCrory, but it's well read by the defender, Brito, and he's able to get it away. Here's TJ DeBar on the far side. He loses it, and he's passed it straight out the pitch. Scotland throw-in, level with the Gibraltar 18. And it's bowled to Gilmore. Out on the far side, it's Ryan Christie. Passes it back to Robertson. He's in a central area now. Left-footed clip ball, looking for Forrest. It's headed away. There on this near side and behind for the corner by Ethan Jolly. It's a Scotland corner.
Yeah, another corner, another chance for us to load the box. We took the last one short and ended up back in our own half with it virtually. So hopefully this one gets flung in. We do have aerial threat. Hanley, Porteous, both going up for it. It's going to be Robertson without swinger.
Down on this near side, the Scotland left, and it comes to the 6-yard box. The header is down, and the chance is there for Shankland, and Porteous was there too, but neither could convert. And there's a defender on the line helping the goalkeeper, which I think prevented Porteous from scrambling it home, and it stays nothing each. Another opportunity. Here's Robertson on the left, slices the cross in again to the right-hand side of the penalty spot, but DeBar's there, decides to try and take on Kenny McLean out to the far side touchline's actually done well. He plays it off McLean, and it bounces behind for the goal kick, and it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. We're in the final 10 minutes of the first half, and Scotland still to make the breakthrough.
Another chance, yeah. Decent ball in. It was from Robertson. It was Hanley who got up highest, headed the ball down into the ground. The goalkeeper made a save, spilled it. And you thought Porteous was just going to tap it home, but it was actually a really good block on the line by the centre half for Gibraltar.
There's the two centre-backs at the opportunity for Scotland there. Hanley and then Porteous. Shankland was trying to get involved as well. As Forrest picks up in the near side, he's gone down. You can hear the scream from James Forrest. He's taking a bang to the right knee there, and he's currently down.
That was a bad challenge, Liam. The game's not been played like that, but his stud's fully into his knee. He's getting back to his feet.
He's going to be okay.
Yeah, thankfully. He's certainly going to have a bruised knee. There's no doubt about that. A poor challenge. You could see John Carver out there talking to the fourth official. The game's not really been played in that type of spirit. I think it was more just mistimed than any real malice in it, but it was poor.
Scotland dropped down the FIFA rankings following those matches in March, down to 39th. The three friendlies, Northern Ireland, Gibraltar and Finland, all back-to-back, are the only matches this year that Scotland will be playing a side ranked below them in the top echelons of the Nations League in the autumn.
Where are Switzerland and Hungary? Have you got that there now? No.
I'll get back to you, my man. Here's McLean, left-hand side of the box. In comes the ball, looking for Shankland, and it's come flicking off a Gibraltar head and behind.
Thankfully, Jane Lewis is well prepared beside us, and she tells me that Hungary are 26th and Switzerland are 19th. There you go. Thanks, Jane.
Well done, Jane.
Yeah, well, at least somebody's done their homework, Liam.
Well, I've done my homework for Gibraltar against Scotland. I didn't expect you to throw that one at me. It's going to be a Scotland corner over on the far side. And another outswinger by the looks of things here. And there's again that group of players round about the penalty spot, and it comes with the right foot. The ref's blown his whistle. He spotted something inside the penalty area there, and he's summoning, I think it's Ansley, over to speak to him. He's wagging his finger at the big midfielder.
He was wrestling Porteous, but the ball hadn't been played in yet. It was before it had been kicked, I think. So I mean, nothing comes of it. He'll just get a warning here, but yeah, he was absolutely pulling Porteous all over the place there.
So the corner will be retaken over on that far side. There's a couple of players just to the edge of the box, but again, there's that big group round about the left of the penalty spot. And it comes from Gilmore. It's headed away by Ansley, breaks to the edge of the area. Christie shoots down into the ground, and then it's headed half away out to the far side. Gilmore keeps it alive, finds Forrest. His efforts blocked by DeBar. In the right angle, it's Christie. Good ball. McLean heads it down. It's just not going in here. And it might be another corner. It is. It's good work just to the right of the 6-yard box by Shanklin to force another corner kick. But again, Kenny McLean, when he threw himself at that, you were expecting that to
He was kind of
be on
off
target.
balance, I think. It was strange, you know. Again, middle of the 6-yard box, the ball in's fabulous, in-swinger. We're just expecting him to nod at home. I think he just got kind of mixed up in mid-air, the flight of the ball, and it was another poor effort on goal.
40 minutes played, 0-0. Scotland corner though. Outswinger, right-footed, in it comes. Little flick there. Shanklin can get back onto it, clips it into the 6-yard area, and there's another glorious chance which Hanley puts past with the left foot. How's he missed that one? It stays 0-0. What on earth's going on out there? What kind of sorcery are we watching here on the Algarve?
You can only, I don't know what to say anymore. I really don't. That is as good a chance as you're going to see. It's flicked on. He's back post. He's 2 yards out with a goal at his mercy and puts it wide of the post. I mean, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Goal kick Gibraltar. They must be wondering how on earth this is all square.
Yeah.
0-0. Hanley's had 2 really good opportunities, and even though it's the centre back, you can sometimes say it's the wrong man in the right place. But actually, even if you're a centre back, you could be scoring that one.
Hit the target. Got to hit the target. It's strange. It's been a very strange game to commentate on. Again, the lack of atmosphere and just the kind of, it's just played like a training game, and it's so difficult to judge because the opposition are so very, very poor. So, yeah, it's a strange game.
And of course, we got used to this a few years ago, didn't we? When the crowds weren't allowed in. It is Gibraltar picking up on this near side. It's the big striker El Himdi. And then there's a foul by Hanley on DeBar, I think it was. That's going to be a free kick to Gibraltar on this right-hand side. DeBar there's covered plenty blades of grass down there. Still really windy inside the stadium. It's got the 2 big stands. We're in one of them. The other massive stand over on the far side. And then 2 uncovered seated areas at either end of the stadium. It was purpose-built for the European Championship finals in 2004. It hosted 3 matches.
Xander Clark getting a cheer because he got a touch with the ball. I mean, you want to be, as a goalkeeper, and you're getting an opportunity like Xander is tonight.
You want to make some saves.
Yeah, you want to be tested. You do want to show what you can do. It's his first touch.
Andy Robertson down the left-hand side. It's Forrest down about level with the 6-yard line of Gibraltar on the left flank, winning the throw-in, which Robertson is keen to take quickly. There will be a couple of minutes added on in stoppages with that water break at the halfway point of the first half. And it is Robertson with the throw-in, about level with the penalty spot in the end. Gets it back from McGinn. There's Robertson. Here's Forrest inside the box. Looks up, shoots with the right foot. Again, it's blocked though. And Liam Walker completes the clearance. El Himdi on this near side. Good play from him. Got away from a couple of Scotland challenges, and then there's a foul by Robertson on the near side on DeBar, and that will be a free kick to Gibraltar. I think DeBar is winning too many admirers among the Scotland supporters down below us.
It probably is a foul though, you know. I mean, Andy Robertson, and it was Hanley before that, was definitely a foul on DeBar.
So free kick Gibraltar. Scotland just a few minutes away from the ignominy of being level at 0-0 against the side ranked 203rd by FIFA currently. Hanley heads it out for a throw-in, and Gibraltar are right up the pitch here at level with the Scottish 6-yard line. This is as far up the pitch as they've been.
I think there's a long throw coming. They're certainly loading the box.
Well, that would put the tin lid on it, wouldn't it?
Well, it would do. Let's not try and curse this.
Yeah, it's going to be Jack Sargent to take the aforementioned long throw into the Scotland box here. Kind of situation Scotland have been conceding cheap goals from recently. Into the box it comes, headed away by Hanley. Back out to this near side for Sargent. Rolls it infield to his captain Walker. He passes it back down the line for Jolly, and then onto the halfway line. It's picked up by Jace Olivero. Long ball, which is calmly headed back to Xander Clark by Robertson. We're in the final minute of the 45. Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. And it is Ryan Porteous striding forward, switching it right to left of the circle for Robertson. Robertson's got McGinn ahead of him, and he finds him. McGinn then left-footed, digs the ball out to the left of the box for Shankland, who's brought crashing to the ground, and that will be a free kick level with the 6-yard line on this near side. And I was wondering if the card would be coming out there. You sometimes do see challenges like that go unpunished, other than, you know, giving it as a foul.
Yeah, I
no
think
card,
if it's not a friendly, it's probably going in the book. But it was good movement again from Lawrence, offering himself up in a wide area, central, out to the
2 minutes
the
added.
left-hand side. He just goes to take a touch and is barged into the back by the Gibraltar player. But a chance for Andy Robertson, out-swinger, plenty of targets.
First of 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Robertson takes the free kick, flights it in. McCrory goes for it, but he can only get the slightest touch, and it goes right through to the goalkeeper, Hankins, who holds on. And he has made a save or two, Hankins, particularly that one from Grant Hanley. So he has been worked. Scotland have had chances, but the fact is, the scoreline is Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. And that's a long ball by Walker. It's a brilliant pass as well. It's in behind McCrory. Left-hand side, it's a chance here for a shot to be saved by Clark from Beto. Left angle of the penalty area. He hits it low. Clark holds on comfortably, but my goodness, what a pass from Liam Walker.
Pass. Absolutely brilliant pass over the top. And he was never really going to score from that angle. Gets it on target, though, which is more than could be said for some of our efforts. I mean, the biggest disappointment for us is you're talking about working their goalkeeper, is the big chances we've had, we've actually not even had on target. We've missed the goal completely. So, shit in practice required.
James Forrest has it. And one last chance for Scotland to score before the break. Gilmore onto his left side, shoots, blocked by his own man, Shankland, and flicked away by Walker. Hanley heads forward, here's McGinn, and now McLean gets the cross in. It was a decent ball in as well, but it's been headed clear by Lopez, and it's picked up over on that far side by the Manchester United youngster Scanlon, and goes out to play for a throw in. Gibraltar still nervous that James Scanlon could potentially be taken by another country. You've got to play 3 competitive matches now to confirm your allegiance these days. And the half-time whistle goes here in the Estadio Algarve. Well, Scotland, it's not for the lack of trying. They've had plenty of the ball, obviously. They've had loads of chances. Christie, Hanley's had a hat-trick of opportunities. James Forrest, Kenny McLean have all had chances. None have really fallen Lawrence Shankland's way as yet. But Scotland are on this run right now of 7 without a victory, and the half-time scoreline here in the penultimate match before the start of the European Championship, and just over a week away from Scotland taking on the mighty Germany in their own patch. It is Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland. This summer,
we can't wait to welcome the world-famous Tartan Army to Germany.
the European dream lives here,
Germany against Scotland.
What an experience for the players' first game.
bringing UEFA Euro 2024 home.
Scotland are brave, all right. That's for sure.
McGregor, everyone, Tierney, Robertson. We've got good players.
You come out and the fans are still there, still singing. Like, makes you feel so proud when you play for Scotland.
Oh, so Scots looking for a winner. Oh, it's brilliant.
BBC Radio Scotland.
2 warm-up matches to go before we head to Germany. Half-time, Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. There was a message come in on social media from Jim Newlands before the game. He said, let's not get too fixated on racking up a rugby score tonight. Yes, far more important to just get 90 solid minutes into the legs and see how different ideas look to the management team. So in this 50 minutes, this is a time when our pundits really earn their money. Because Willie Miller, talk about that game. See what you can do.
Well, it's not a great deal to say about it, unfortunately, but I'll do my best, Kenny, in trying to sum it up. Listen, chances have been created. not particularly great chances. I think young Stephen's been a little bit hard on Grant Hanley, to be perfectly honest, particularly with that first one. The first one,
Come on, Willie.
it was late. It came over. I think it was Porteous heads, wasn't it? I mean, it's almost round about his knees.
Which
when he's
one, the
trying
header
to
or the
header?
or the-
No, the header. I'll come on to
Right.
the shot.
Hit the target with that. You'd have hit the target with that.
He's almost fallen into it, and all he can do is get his forehead on it. He goes into the ground. I thought he was a little bit unlucky, to be perfectly honest with you, that
okay.
it just kind of looked over the bar because it was almost in target. I thought he did as good a job as he possibly could. Listen, the one towards the end, the left foot one, where it fell to him, he saw it late, but he should be doing much better with that one. He's not under pressure. He's got clear daylight there. He's got to react sharper. And if he does and he gets it in target, it's a goal. The other one that I thought you were a bit hard on as well was James Forrest.
We need this.
I just thought that James Forrest was maybe the angle was really tight. He tried to open his feet up, and I think he's looking maybe to get it across the goalkeeper. No, but listen to me. You might learn
It's not
something.
like you're this kind of mega positive person. That's a big chance.
It's a tight angle, isn't it? And yeah, I think he should have done better. He should have got it on target. I'm watching the Hanley one again, and I'll tell you, he doesn't see that late. It comes over Porteous' head. He's diving. It's down at his kind of a waist height. And he gets it kind of in between the sticks, but he's unfortunate to see it bounce over the bar. You might have a case with the other ones, but as far as listen, we've all played in training games like this, haven't we? Where you kind of overload the attackers and you ask the defenders, can they defend? And you know what? It's really difficult. It's really difficult to break defences down in a training situation. And Scotland are finding it difficult tonight to do that. I mean, basically, it's a 5 at the back and 4 in front of the 5, and there's not much room there. But they have had chances, Stephen, would agree with you. They've had plenty of chances, half chances, chances that they should have done better with. And I'm watching the James Forrest one again. I think he's a little bit off balance too. And yeah, he's disappointed with it. If you see it, I think he's trying to play it across the goalkeeper, and he doesn't make a good connection with it, and it goes past that near post.
I mean, are you putting it in the right good chance category?
I'm putting in a good chance, yeah. If he gets himself adjusted.
I mean, these are good chances.
I'm not disputing that. I don't think. I think you actually said that the Hanley one was a sitter. Did you not? I'd have to listen to your commentary again, but that's what I didn't agree with. But we're on the same page. We're going along the same line here. Chances have been created. On another night, I think you're looking at possibly 2 or 3 of these chances being converted. But
that's the point. The point is, on another night, 2 weeks' time in Germany, as we said, we might only get 2 chances. Certainly, these are big chances, in my opinion, and you've got to take them. Yeah, no,
I mean, I think there are chances. Some of them are bigger than others. But you've got to go along with me here because we've got 15 minutes to fill, by the way.
Listen, he's in a great job. Let him go. 20 shots, 2 on target, 13 off target, 5 shots blocked. Now, the producer came in during the first half, Tomo, and he said drive time, who are on the other frequency, need someone to go through and do a wee update. As you know, it's about a 15-second walk through, 15-second walk back. Tom English was gone for about 45 seconds. What did you say in that 15 seconds on there?
I can't remember. I waffled like I usually do. But it was funny because the producer came in and says, could one of you, meaning myself or Willie, go in and talk about the game? I tell you one thing, Willie Miller was not getting out of his seat. so I took one for the team.
Yes,
it's good sportsmanship. That.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Look, it's as you say, Kenny. You get loads of chances, half chances, and all the rest of it. The killer stat here is Scotland have had 20 attempts on goal, and 2 of them have been on target.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
2 on target. It's pretty lamentable. And this is, obviously this game is going to bear no comparison to the 3 games in Germany because Gibraltar are so poor. But what is relevant is the dismal nature of Scotland's finishing. That is relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And that is worrying. That is very worrying.
Has
It's been
there
worrying for a
anyone?
while. It's always been an issue. Goals have always been a bit of an issue. It's become more and more of an issue over the last 3 or 4 games.
It's hard to say anything much about Lawrence Shankland, Tom, because we spoke before the game, probably in pole position to start against Germany. Could he get a couple of goals tonight, get the confidence boosted, nail that starting spot? He's not really had a lot to go on tonight.
No, he had one where I thought he should have done better. He put it over the bar. It wasn't an easy chance, but you expect him to hit the target. He's been tightly marked. There's no space in there for him. He's playing the highest up, and obviously there's 3 centre halves in there very close together. He's tried to work centrally out the way to the wide areas on a couple of occasions, linked the play quite well, but no, nothing's dropped in. The one man you want it to drop to, in terms of in the box, these big chances that we've had. But it's been a frustrating half. It's been a really, really weird game to commentate on. I don't know whether it's just because there's no crowd in here or what, or just because it just feels like a training game, and at times so very slow, and it's for me it's a very surreal type of game.
You don't think that Shankland's got to be, more in between the sticks? So you know how you're talking about him, maybe wanting to perhaps show that his link-up play is good. Rather than that, I would, in these type of games, just be selfish and just stay in between the two.
He has been in a lot of occasions. I think it's more of him trying to get a touch of the ball, because that's the one position. The midfielders will get so much time in the ball, so do the centre halves. There's lots and lots and lots of touches. Whereas the ball up to Lawrence, he's so tightly marked, he's not getting involved. So you naturally do that as a striker. You kind of drift out into a wider area where you can get a touch because you're wanting to be involved in the game. But you're right, though. You do want him between the six.
Yeah, and I think, where wide play hasn't been particularly good, I don't think Ross McCrory has used the ball particularly well down the right-hand side when he has had the opportunity. Ryan Christie hasn't done much. James Forrest a couple of times. Andy Robertson probably down the left-hand side, putting in a couple of crosses, hitting the byline. And I always think when they're sitting back there with 5 and 4 in front of the 5, you've got to try and move them about. You've got to try and get their defenders thinking. And to do that, underlap, overlap, wide players taking it to the byline and cutting it back. But I don't think we've had enough of that in the first half. I'd like to see a little bit more of that in the second half, just to try to move their players about, because it's just a little bit too easy for them.
It's a good point, Tom, about Ross McCrory, because he's not going to be tested defensively tonight. So as Willie's saying, he's got to take his opportunity, press forward down that right-hand side, but we've not seen an awful lot from him either.
No, he looks a little bit hesitant. It's a weird game, right?
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. It's not fun to watch this, I have to say.
No.
Because what it does, McCrory, and we have to give him a bit of a pass, because it's it's his first game, and I think he's been fine. He's been okay.
He's shown keenness to get up and down on that right hand side.
Good work.
He has. He's
good attitude.
A couple of times he's got into good areas. There was one where he headers the ball back across the goal. Do you remember when he should have probably taken a touch in his chest? It was a ball in from John McGinn at the back post. He had more time probably than he thought he did there. But it's so hard to judge, isn't it? Because how do you judge players when they're playing against such inferior opposition that are just sat in? It's difficult to kind of tell who's playing well and who's not. Do you know what I mean?
The thing for me, and I think, kind of maybe repeating myself here, but the game is weird. What can you judge this on? And you have to judge this game on Scotland's ability to convert the chances created, because that's a relevant point, right? That can pertain to any of the 3 big games coming up in Germany, and they haven't converted anything. So that's really kind of concerning. These are some decent chances there. They're not hitting the target with most of them. That is, wow. Now this could all change in the second half. All of a sudden they could get one.
Yeah.
Unlock the door, and then they could just bash straight through and score another 3-4.
I think what you've got to do is...
I'd like to see it happening quickly in the second half.
Yeah, but keep at them. And hopefully they tire. And that's usually when the brain isn't working as sharp as it probably has been for Gibraltar in the first half. As the game progresses, if you keep going at them, rather than, if you've got the opportunity to play a side pass, don't do it. Please don't do it. Get it wide and get at them again. And then when they give possession away, just keep doing it, just getting it wide or playing it up to Shankland, getting it back, and keep testing them. You've got to, just keep at it. You can't, allow the disappointment of creating a number of chances in the first half affect you in the second half. You've got to come out. Maybe changes will be made.
He'll definitely make changes.
Yeah.
He'll definitely make changes. He wants to get minutes into some players. I'd like to see Doak come on, see what he can do. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if he made quite a few changes here at half time.
Is there a chance he could just change the entire team? I mean,
what's that?
Is there a chance he could change the entire team at half time?
He could do. He could do. But they're all out here warming up, so obviously that's not happening.
Right, okay.
But yeah, I mean, you'd expect to see changes, and then Willie's talking about them getting tired, and obviously we'll be bringing fresh legs on to go and try and get a goal. I think you're right. I think if we do score one, and hopefully we do pretty soon after half time, then we'll go on and win the game comfortably. I mean, it's a game about. It's all about just getting minutes into the legs for some of the players. It's not a test. You can't judge really the performance, and it's so difficult to kind of compare it to a game where everything's at full tempo, because it's been played a lot of the time at a really pedestrian pace, and they're not pressing us. So it's a kind of hard one to judge the players. I'd imagine Friday night's game will be more difficult against Finland. They'll not be quite as much as a pushover. But what you want from this game, you want to get those players minutes, you want to get confidence, and the only way you're going to get confidence is if somebody puts the ball in the back of the net. We want a win to take into Friday, and I'm pretty sure in this second half we cannot possibly pass up as many opportunities in this second half as we did in that first.
After the Netherlands game and after the Northern Ireland game, particularly after the Netherlands game, Steve Clarke talked about the chances that Scotland created and didn't take. He said the same after Northern Ireland to a lesser extent. He's saying it again after 45 minutes, I would imagine, tonight. So this is a kind of a theme now, and they need to get out of this rut, because he's going to, if it continues on the way it is, he's going to say for 3 games in a row we created loads of chances, we didn't take them. That's going to become an issue in the squad.
It could also be flat on Friday night, Tom. Couldn't it? The big send-off. It could be flat if we've got another performance that we've seen today and we saw against Northern Ireland.
They need goals. They need to be ruthless. They need a bit more intensity, a lot more intensity.
Right.
And yeah, my prediction of a Shankland hat-trick is looking a little bit rubbish.
We're still in there. Let's get back to the guys and see if it gets any better out there in Farrell. Let's get back to Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Well, there has been a change made for the start of the second half. Perhaps not what we were expecting. Grant Hanley has been replaced by Liam Cooper, who looks like his long association with Leeds United will be coming to an end. He's out of contract and barely plays for them, but he's on for Hanley. It's his 19th cap. He was part of the squad at the tournament 3 years ago, and Scotland will get the second half underway. That's the only change so far. Scotland will shoot from left to right as we watch from the big stand above the technical areas. Ribas, the Gibraltar coach, directly below us. We're just slightly to the right of the halfway line as the game gets back underway. McGinn touching it back to McLean and out to Robertson. So Stephen, Liam Cooper on for Grant Hanley.
Yeah, I think it's probably just wanting to give Grant Hanley 45 minutes. Maybe give him another 45 on Friday evening. I expect a lot more changes as the half goes on. But I'd like to see young Doak get on and see if he can conjure up a bit of magic for us in a game that's been quite flat.
Here's Robertson for Scotland, out to the left-hand side for McGinn. Little ball in field for Gilmore. Just about the entire pitch now in the shade as the cross comes in towards McLean. It's headed away there by Lopez. And DeBar back facing his own goal, passes it back to Ethan Jolly. So Scotland lining up to start the second half. Clarke in goal, McCrory, Porteous, Cooper and Robertson, Gilmore and McLean, Forrest, McGinn and Christie, and Shankland. Billy Gilmore turns 23 next week as Christie finds Scotland's number 23, McLean, out to Forrest along the 18-yard line, passing it to Gilmore. And now with McCrory, right of the D. Passes it back to Gilmore, he bends the ball in, and then the defender makes a complete hash of it. Chance here, played across the face of goal by Robertson, but cleared brilliantly. And has to be said by Bernardo Lopez, he's had a few of them tonight. It was a wild swipe at the initial ball that came in as the cross comes back into the back post area towards Christie and headed behind for Scotland's first corner in the second half, which is a minute and a half old at 0-0.
Yeah, it was... Wild's the word for that bit of defending we just saw there. Another chance for Scotland. Another corner to put in. Billy Gilmour this time on the right-hand side.
Outswinger from Gilmour with the Tartan Army behind him. Down below us in the bottom tier. And Gilmour right beside the corner flag, which still continues to flutter in the wind. In it comes to the penalty spot area where it's headed high over the bar by Cooper. And here we go again, 0-0.
Free header, penalty spot, hit the target. That's a decent opportunity. Comes off the top of his head and goes high over the bar.
Did I hear a dog in the background?
Yeah. It's not me. It's normally me that's making those types of noises, but I can guarantee it wasn't. I think it's a police dog.
I was hearing things. Goal kick Gibraltar. And it will be booted forward by Hankins, across halfway. Cooper underneath it. And now Christie takes it down, just left of the centre circle, looks up, McGinn flicks it on. Forrest trying to get it into his stride, he's on to it, James Forrest. Just overcooked it slightly, he's gone down. It's a goal kick, he's not even getting the corner, he's got his arms outstretched there in protest at the referee's decision. And it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0.
It was hard to see from up here in the stand, but he seemed to have another 2 steps and then fall, kind of delayed reaction. I think if he'd gone down the first time, the ref might have given it. I don't know if there was much contact. The guys are all back in the studio, but yeah, it seemed he went down in stages.
And Steve Clarke, I hope his team can score early in this second half, because they don't want to become embroiled. If they don't win this game, it would be unthinkable. I mean, the mere suggestion of that after the Northern Ireland friendly, that they wouldn't win this one, was completely scoffed at. As Robertson picks up in the left, drifts the ball in. Christie with a looping header towards goal. The keeper eventually gets it under control. And it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. I just wonder if that would have been better served Lawrence Shankland.
100%.
He was in behind Ryan Christie.
100%.
The keeper's down, injured.
Christie was really stretching for it, couldn't get any purchase on the header, and Shankland's just behind them. I don't know if he shouted or not, I couldn't hear, but it's definitely, you're right, it should have been for Shankland. The goalkeeper's got injured trying to catch that looping header from Christie. I think somebody banged into him, he's probably just winded by the looks of things.
The last game Gibraltar didn't lose was a 1-0 friendly win over Andorra in November 2022. They'd beaten Liechtenstein in another friendly just before that. Those are their only victories in their last 36 games.
Does not come as a surprise.
No, I mean, the fact that, you know, these teams are now able to win games because of the Nations League. It allows them to take part in sections against similarly, or sides of a similar standard. And that's where they managed to pick up the historic win over Liechtenstein. That was their first one. Relatively new to UEFA competitions. It was that group they were in with Scotland for Euro 2016. That was their first ever qualification campaign. They had to wait to get the nod from FIFA to take part in World Cup qualifying. And their first campaign at that level was for the finals in Russia. And the keeper's now up and ready to go. The ref gives him the ball back. 5 into the second half. What's going through Steve Clarke's mind right now, do you think?
Well, he's not been out in the technical area at all. It's been his assistant that's been out the whole match. Yeah, so he's been sitting watching. I think he just wants this first goal to go in and get the win. It's clearly been a performance where the Scotland players have got far more levels they can go up and find. It's been played like a training match. I don't know what he'll make of it, to be honest with you. I think he'll be overly impressed.
Here's Gilmour. Right-footed ball, switching it back out to the left for Robertson. It was a heavy touch, but he's made it work. He finds Forrest. Forrest looking to hit the byline and just out-muscled by the defender. And it will be El Himdi over on the far side. He's run himself into a bit of a hole there, where his clearance comes off the chest of McLean, and behind it goes for the goal kick for Gibraltar. The Scotland fans are a little bit quiet just now.
Yeah, there's actually not that many of them. I thought there'd be more to the left-hand side down there. Yeah, I don't know how many are here. What is it, 2,000?
A couple of thousand, I think, were making the trip. Gibraltar have the ball with this goal kick. And their manager down there has been very animated. all night. Remember him from the 2 games against Celtic when he was Red Imps manager. The Uruguayan in charge of the Gibraltar national team. A long ball with the right foot. Out to the far side, taken down by El Himdi, who's fouled, says the referee. Free kick to Gibraltar over on the right-hand side. Just about level with the edge of the centre circle in the Scotland half.
Well, this is the first time they've had a chance to load the Scotland box. This will come straight in, I'd imagine, around about the penalty spot. Scotland playing a very high line.
Well, we saw in the first half that Liam Walker's got a good pass on him. What's he got from the dead ball here over on the far side? Left-footed delivery coming up from the Gibraltar number 10, and then he tried something from the training ground. He's passed it straight out over on the far side. Now, I would not be wanting to go anywhere near Julio Ribas, the Gibraltar coach, if I was Liam Walker right now.
That was abysmal.
It doesn't look like somebody you want to mess with either. Just describe it, Tom. We're all expecting the ball into the box. He's tried to...
It's the one time in the match they've had a chance to put it into the box. He tries a wee short one and passes it straight out the pitch. It's remarkable stuff.
Here's Cooper for Scotland. Be no laughing matter for Steve Clarke this right now.
No, I don't think so, no.
If they don't win this game, I mean, that makes headlines for all the wrong reasons. From McLean to McCrory. I know it's just a friendly, but this is a team France put 14 past. Here is Ansley for Gibraltar. It's a good ball out of defence, actually. And he's found Scanlon. It's a Manchester United player out to the right. Poor ball, straight to Porteous.
So bad.
Porteous finds Gilmore. He shifts it to Robertson, left of the centre circle, driving forward. He's got McGinn ahead of him. Finds John McGinn inside the penalty area. Defender all over him. He's been forced down towards the byline, lays it back to Robertson. Looping ball to the back post area. Shanklin heads it back towards the penalty spot. Ansley heads it away. It was more positive from the Scots down that left-hand side on that occasion. Here's Robertson. Out to McGinn. Short ball infield to Forrest. Goes back to Robertson. Left-footed, angled ball, looking for McCrory. It's his head onto it, comes off the defender and behind for a Scotland corner.
The ref's given a goal kick, which I think is the wrong decision. The linesman gave a corner, but the refs overruled them.
Northern Irish officials for this game. It's Jamie Robinson who pointed for the goal kick there, the man in the middle. And the Gibraltar goalkeeper here, Hankins, will take, and he's in no rush. As I said in the first half, they've got Wales here in a friendly on Thursday. Do Gibraltar as they continue their preparations for Nations League D in the autumn. Scotland in Nations League A. Portugal, the country we're in right now. Croatia, Poland making up that group. Tough group, could have been worse. But for them to get a World Cup playoff via the Nations League for this edition of it, for the World Cup, you need to win your group. It's going to be a tall order. And goes out of play over on the far side of El Himidi.
There is just no tempo in this game.
No.
It is so boring.
Scotland have a throw-in over on the far side, midway inside the Gibraltar half. Bowled to Gilmore. And back out to Robertson. You can understand why the players would perhaps play within themselves today with that Germany game looming, but they want to be winning games again, and Steve Clarke will be desperate to win these two this week as McGinn wins the corner. Left-hand side of the box. Robertson's already away out to take.
Yeah, another corner. Let's see what happens with this one. We've had 3 or 4 free headers from corners, but we've not managed to work the goalkeeper yet with any of them.
0-0 on 56 minutes. In from Andy Robertson, and then it's headed down. The goalkeeper makes the save. Again, it's into the ground from Porteous. And the goalie holds on eventually, and it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 0. And
Oliveira's got a head knock, is
he's
it?
down on the ground. He might need some attention here.
Didn't really see what happened. It was maybe headed the back of somebody's head. But yeah, I mean, that one wasn't quite as good a chance. Another header on target. The goalkeeper, comfortable enough save for him. Just eating more minutes here, Gibraltar, really.
There's still plenty of time here. Scotland could easily score 2 or 3 goals, get out of here with a 3-0 victory, which is something the French did. 3-0, quite happy with that. 3 points off they went. And that kind of scoreline right now, as we sit looking at the clock, you'd take 3-0. That would be
before the game, we're
2-0,
chatting, you and I, about, what do you fancy, 6-7-0? Hasn't turned out that way. It's not really been our day, given we were stuck in a lift for 25 minutes earlier on.
It wasn't the best 25 minutes I've spent.
No, it was not.
Long ball forward there from Hankins, bounces and then headed back to Xander Clark. It's a rare feel of the ball, and he bowls it short to Porteous. Out to McCrory. Christie down the line, McGinn ahead of him as well. McCrory playing it short onto the halfway for Gilmore, who switches it right to left of the circle for Robertson. Forrest on the touchline. Forrest looks up at the box in front of him, lays it back to Gilmore, disguised reverse ball. Forrest could get into it, lovely flick from Shankland. Forrest forced to the byline, back to Robertson, in comes the ball. Christie takes a touch, gets in the road of his teammate and then latches it home when it broke back to him. And finally Scotland make the breakthrough here against Gibraltar. It's a fabulous finish as well in the end from Ryan Christie. It looked as though the chance had gotten away from him, but he's banged home his 6th international goal, and that will perhaps make everyone feel a little bit better. It's Gibraltar 0, Scotland 1.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I thought like you had missed the chance. You know, it came to the back post. It was a good ball in from Robertson, and he took a touch and it looked like it had got away from him, and then poor defending from Gibraltar manages to swivel 6 yards out, and there was only one place he could put it because there was so many bodies in front of him, and that was high into the roof of the net, which he did. Dispatched. Can breathe a wee bit easier now.
Yeah, good finish from Christie. He's been playing as that kind of deeper lying midfield player for Bournemouth this season, but he loves to get forward when he can, and as I say, that's him up to 6. It's his 48th cap. Him and Grant Hanley will be the next ones to go through the 50 cap mark. McTominay there as well, won't be far behind them. Loads of these players are racking up the caps, as that's clear by Ansley, and out of play on the far side. You would fancy that someone's going to eventually beat Kenny Dalglish's long-standing record.
Yeah, maybe a Robertson or a McGinn.
Yeah.
Still got plenty of years in the tank.
Yeah, John McGinn's 65th cap this evening, and as I said, Robertson's 70. There's Christie. Shanklin in the box, controls in the knee with his back to goal. He passes it back the way, but gives it straight to DeBar, who was run about the centre circle. Scotland win it back in double quick time, and it's Cooper out to the left for Robertson. Gets the cross in, laid back by Christie for Shanklin. Just wouldn't fall for him. Does fall for Gilmore, but he's unable to prod it through to McGinn, who was to his right, and Gibraltar clear. It's a little bit hesitant, Scotland in the box sometimes. Just wanting to take just that, even just one touch too many.
Yeah, definitely should have got the shot away there. Lawrence Shanklin was unlucky, took a good touch, laid it off, and then just trying that extra pass too many times. Loads of bodies in there.
McLean has it in the centre circle and finds Christie. He's got McCrory out to this near side. Can't find him though. Closed down well out here by Brito, and out for a Scotland throw-in. Just level with the edge of the D of the Gibraltar box. McCrory finds Christie, and he knocks it back into the centre circle for Cooper.
Going to get some subs in a wee minute here, Liam. I can see Kieran Tierney's got his strip on, ready to go.
Here's a chance for Scotland. The ball coming in from the left from Forrest, but it's cleared. Out on the far side, Gibraltar get it up to halfway, where Cooper will pick it up. And you'll find Robertson rolling it down that left-hand side. Here's Forrest. Wasn't a great touch by James Forrest, just bounces off the defender and out for a Scotland throw-in though.
Here comes the subs.
Yeah, Shea Adams is down there as well. I think they're going to have to wait till the next break and play. Here is Forrest again on the far side. And it's Gilmore. Back out to Robertson. 2 in Scotland colours in the middle, wearing that light change kit this evening. Gilmore. Big switch of play out to Christie on this near side. Controls in the chest. Shifts it with the left foot away from the defender, looking for Shankland. And it's cut out. there. Gibraltar are able to get it clear through Scanlon. Here comes Scotland again. Porteous out to this near side for Gilmore. Short ball to Christie, back to Gilmore. And then to Porteous. And to Cooper. Scotland leading 1-0 thanks to Christie's goal. Almost 62 played. Big switch of play out to Ross McCrory on this near side. Level with the Gibraltar penalty spot. Lays it back the way to Gilmore. His cross is cut out. Gets onto the scraps on this near side. Rolls it back low to Christie. Left-footed chipped cross in towards the penalty spot. Is headed away. McLean picks it up. Nods it out to Robertson. On that far side, Robertson's ball forwards, cut out by Ansley. And now they could potentially get in behind down the right-hand side. It was a woeful pass there by Ayoub El Hamidi. And the ball's still not gone out of play to allow these subs to be made. See John Carver and Chris Woods down there, part of Steve Clarke's coaching staff. Alongside Adams and Tierney. Here is Christie. And a big switch of play by Christie looking for Forrest. Forrest knocks it back to Robertson at close quarters. Robertson's short ball, square infield to McLean. McLean turns it to Forrest. Now it's going to break to Gilmore. He couldn't find McGinn though. McGinn had peeled off to the left of the box. Gibraltar can't get out here. It's McCrory on the near side. Forrest getting a chance to get some action on the right flank this time. Back to McCrory, and now with Porteous. Gilmore, little ball forwards cut out, and Ansley gets it away. And here goes DeBar. He's now driving forward, and they've got a chance to slip it into El Hamidi to the right. He gives him it. Scotland have numbers back now. El Hamidi out to the left of the box for Scanlon. Back to Walker. El Hamidi to Walker again. And then Brito picks it up on the left-hand side and rolls it back into his own half. 1-0 Scotland almost in 64. And a couple of changes coming for Gibraltar as well, by the looks of things. As that ball comes all the way back to the goalkeeper. And Tierney and Adams have they gone back to sit down because the ball still hasn't gone out of play. They've been down there waiting for about 5 minutes.
Oh dear.
Liam Walker picks it up deep. Shifts it out to that right-hand side. And it is Gibraltar in possession with Jack Sargent. He's given it away. Forrest has it now, and McLean. It's to the left of the centre circle. It's Gilmore now out to McCrory. McCrory then passes it back to Billy Gilmore. Sees so much of the ball, Gilmore. He's such an impressive operator. As Robertson finds Forrest. Forrest moving in field, finds Gilmore. He's got McCrory out in the near side. The Sky's ball, central area for Christie instead. Out to McLean on the left, now with Robertson. Scotland trying to pick their way through. Robertson's cross is overcooked. And flag's gone up as well. And now the changes can be made. And it remains Gibraltar 0, Scotland 1.
Yeah, Shea Adams and Kieran Tierney coming on. Let's see who's making way. It's going to be Andy Robertson. Getting a good 60 minutes into him. Tierney, who you'd imagine is starting to start in the Germany game, coming on for the last half an hour. And it's going to be... Who's coming off? Forrest for Adams. So he's going with two up top, maybe here. Something you don't see too often from him. But in a game like this, he can certainly get away with playing two strikers. They don't need the extra bodies in the middle of the park, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, there might be, times where they'll be behind in games at the European Championship, but they'll have to throw caution to the wind.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's knockout, isn't it? So you've got to go for it. But yeah, it's good to see this. Interested to see how they combine as a pair up there.
Scanlon and El Hamidi are coming off. Kian Ronan, midfield player, who's actually from Essex originally. He plays for Kings Lynn Town in the National League North.
There you go.
In England. Lee Casiaro coming on as well, and that's a name that might send shivers down some Celtic supporters' spines. He scored the goal. He's a policeman. Scored the goal against them in Brendan Rodgers' first game in charge. Also scored Gibraltar's first ever competitive goal when he did so at Hampden the year before. So he's made his mark against Scottish sides in the past. So that long ball forward there from the goalkeeper Hankins. Into the midfield it drops. It's with Walker. Scotland making those 2 changes. Kieran Tierney, of course, more than able replacement for Andrew Robertson. Comes on over on that far side. And he is on for cap number 44.
He's just taken a knock.
He's taken a knock, yeah. He's gone down over on the far side.
First involvement.
He's had so many injury problems,
yeah,
hasn't he?
Been plagued, but thankfully, yeah, he's getting to his feet. It just looked like I kicked as he went to challenge for the ball.
I remember when we turned up at Hampden for the Czech Republic game 3 years ago, the first game of the last European Championship, and the news began to filter through that Kieran Tierney was going to miss the game. And he's such an important player. Scotland's
really
record
is.
in matches is much better with Tierney in the team than it is without.
He's a phenomenal player. One of our best players.
It'll be interesting to see what the future holds for him. He's going to go back to Arsenal, but I think he's admitted that his Arsenal career is effectively over. He spent the season at Real Sociedad in San Sebastian in Spain, and
he'll not be short on options, that's for sure. I wouldn't have thought.
Che Adams coming on as well. With a productive end to the season, to say the least, with Southampton. 30th cap for Che Adams this evening. Scotland in possession with Gilmour, left of the centre circle, finds Porteous. We're into the final quarter of it with the Scots leading 1-0. And it's McCrory in field to Gilmour, back to Porteous. Short ball for Gilmour. He passes it back into his own half for Cooper. And then Porteous, low ball out to McGinn on the near side. Now with the skipper's armband, left-footed, bends the ball in, but it's a bit too much on it for Shanklin to get in the end of, and the goalkeeper holds on. Of course, your old teammate John McGinn will be playing Champions League football next season. It's going to be quite a few months for him. European Championship, and he'll his debut in the Premier Club competition as well.
Yeah, I'm delighted for him. He's just gone from strength to strength in the national team and with his club. What a season Villa have had, and he played obviously a massive part in that. The club captain gets to play Champions League football. His career just keeps getting better and better.
You always think back to that sliding doors moment when it looked as though he was going to be playing under your old manager Owen Coyle in the States.
Yeah.
And he gets the move to Hibs after that, and he's had success everywhere he's gone. St Mirren with you, and Kenny McLean out there as well, obviously, in that League Cup winning side, and then the Scottish Cup win at Hibs, and now strutting his stuff top level in England and in Europe. Here's Gilmour for Scotland on this near side, rolling it back to Porteous. 21 to play. Gibraltar 0, Scotland 1. And it is Cooper out to Tierney on the far side. Seems to be moving okay after that knock. It's Christie. And then Shanklin goes down. No free kick though. Scotland win it back in double quick time. How do you think James Forrest did?
I think he'll be kind of disappointed with his end product tonight. I don't think he's got by his full-back as many times as you'd like to see him do. Just a couple of his crosses haven't created that big chance that he missed. But ultimately, I don't think we're going to line up like this with wide players come the tournament.
Gilmour looking for Adams, right-hand side of the box. Just a clipped ball in for Adams. It's out onto it, but a couple of defenders around him. Win it back. Scotland pinch it back with Gilmour, who's probably, I would imagine, had more touches than anyone else.
He's been everywhere. So many touches of the ball. He just wants it. He just demands it non-stop.
Here's Tierney down the left-hand side. Shanklin's made his move. Adams is in there too. It's just too high for both of them. McCrory picks it up on this near side down by the corner flag. Rolls it back to McGinn. Nice little turn by John McGinn. Right-hand side of the box. Trying to spin his man. Rolls it back out to McCrory. Right foot cross comes in. Adams couldn't get his head onto it. And it is flicked away by Gibraltar through Cian Ronan. And now it is Liam Cooper for the Scots. Out to the left-hand side for Tierney. Tierney rolls it square, infield to Christie. And back to McLean. McLean then chops back onto his left side, finds Ryan Christie. Christie's got Shanklin, McGinn and Adams all on the 18-yard line, but a little clip there on Christie. That'll be a free kick to Scotland, left-hand side there. And there's going to be another couple of changes being made here by
water break
Scotland, but they are going to do the water break first, and we're going to get a first look at Ben Doak by the looks of things in the senior national team. Stephen, you were hoping to see him.
Yeah,
Callum McGregor also going to come on.
Looks like Is it Ryan Jack as well? I don't know. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but hopefully Doak does come on. Excited to see what he's got to offer. Something different.
It's Ryan Jack, yeah. Ryan Jack down there with Callum McGregor.
Yeah, Doak's not there, yeah. So, I mean, Ryan Jack's another player that's needing minutes. Callum McGregor coming back to full fitness. I'd imagine he'll play come next a week on Friday.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think. I mean, you look at the players that aren't playing this evening. McTominay thinks a certain starter. McGregor, Hendry probably, Gunn, Tierney. So it is a kind of different looking Scotland side this evening. There's no doubt about that. There is the kind of big question mark on the right-hand side. Ross McCrory's not done anything wrong tonight, but it's not been a test of him defensively in any way, shape or form. Going forward with the ball, he probably could have done a little bit more. I'm not sure. I mean, it's difficult to judge, as I said at half-time, when the opposition's so poor. But that is one position in the pitch that a decision's going to have to be made. There's chat about, can Forrest play that wing-back role? But McCrory certainly is another option in that area. Skilmore that's coming off for Ryan Jack.
Yeah, and Kenny McLean's going to be withdrawn as well. So Ryan Jack on for his 19th cap. Clubless now, of course. Left Rangers yesterday, that was announced.
Interesting to see where he goes.
Yeah. Callum McGregor on for cap number 59. Another example of the consistency in the squad right now. Because for years, players just weren't, you get the odd one would hit 50, but they weren't all going over the 50 mark. And
no, there's more games now, of course, as well than there was before. Nations League and things like that. But yeah, this group of players has had a real good run at it together, that's for sure.
A few of them, like Jack, like McLean, the wrong side of 30 now. Callum McGregor is as well. He'll be 31 on the day of the Germany game.
That's nothing. Still got a good few years in him. Definitely.
John McGinn's over this free kick. It's a bit level with the edge of the D of the Gibraltar box. 74 minutes just about played. Scotland leading 1-0. McGinn over the free kick. Clips it again to the back post. It's Jack playing it back across and then hooked over by Shankland. He met it, it is back to goal. It's a very difficult opportunity for him. I don't think he can put that in the same bracket as the ones in the first half, but it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 1 on 74.
It was slightly overhit from John McGinn to the back post. You can see what he was trying to do. Ryan Jack had made the run round the back area, manages to kind of scramble it back across goal, and Lawrence was there, tried the kind of speculative overhead kick, if you like, but it was almost impossible to get that on target.
And Callum McGregor down there, the only man to score for Scotland at a major finals since Craig Burley did so against Norway in France, 98. This goes off Casiaro as Gibraltar had a little 40 down the right-hand side and behind for a goal kick, and Scotland have a man down again over on that far side. Is it Cooper?
I think it might be.
Cooper's gone
just
down.
Ran into each other, the two players. I don't know what's... I never saw it. I was following the ball, but both he and Gibraltar player on the ground. Hopefully it's nothing too bad, but he looks certainly in some discomfort.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that when the physios are out. Medical team are working on Liam Cooper over there. Plenty to come over the course of the next few weeks, to say the least. We've got Scotland against Finland on Friday evening, 7:45 kick-off. That one, it's live here on the radio, of course. And it'll be live on BBC Scotland television as well. And then Friday the 14th, Germany against Scotland, 8 o'clock kick-off, the opening game of Euro 2024 in Munich. And that will be followed on the 19th by Scotland-Switzerland. That's in Cologne. All the Scotland matches kicking off at 8 o'clock at the finals. And then Sunday the 23rd, Scotland against Hungary in Stuttgart in the southwest of the country. So lots for this group of players to look forward to. And there's going to be a change here. Looks like Liam Cooper's going to have to come off because Scott McKenna is out, ready to come on. And Steve Clarke will hope that this injury jinx hasn't struck again.
Well, it is concerning the amount of length of time he's been down. The physios are helping him back to his feet just now, but I think he'll be taken off as a precaution regardless. certainly limping very heavily as he goes off on the far side touchline. McKenna will come in.
I mean, with Lewis Ferguson, Aaron Hickey, Nathan Patterson, Lyndon Dykes, all 4 of those are clearly would have all been at the
involved,
championship.
Big losses, especially the 2 right-sided youngsters.
McKenna for Cooper then. Yeah, obviously Hickey and Patterson wouldn't have been playing in the same team unless Hickey was deployed on the other side for some reason or another, but they'd all have a claim to start these matches, not just be in the squad. Scotland have a goal kick as Cooper, well, he is limping very heavily, Stephen. You've got to worry about that.
Hopefully it's a knock rather than anything else that he'll just be able to kind of, over the course of the next week or so, ease off, but not moving well at all.
Here's Porteous for Scotland, striding into the Gibraltar half. Scotland with a 1-0 lead, 12.5 of the 90 left. 1-0 against Gibraltar's not a particularly impressive scoreline, but at least it would be a victory. Unless they can add to it. Here's Adams. He's rifled the ball back off Christie. It bounces favourably for Gibraltar over on the far side. And it's picked up by Sargent. Scotland pinch it back quickly though. Meantime, Gibraltar took off their captain Liam Walker, so they made their latest change just at that previous break in play. Porteous playing it up towards the edge of the penalty area for Shanklin, who goes down. He's having a look at the ref. He's not interested in his claims. Gibraltar clear, long ball forward. Scott McKenna underneath it, and he just lashes it forward. There's an offside flag gone up on this near side against Scotland, against McGinn, and it's Gibraltar 0, Scotland 1. Do you think as Liam Cooper gets a warm reception from the Scotland supporters, if this finishes 1-0, what do you take from it?
What do you take from this game? You've certainly not learned anything. It was a game that was supposed to give us confidence and belief going into Friday night's game. I mean, we've completely dominated it, obviously, but you certainly would have liked to have seen a better or more handsome scoreline. But I suppose in one way or other, it stops that run of 7 games without a win. So a win's a win at the end of the day. But I would like to have seen us be a wee bit more emphatic.
And that last victory in Larnaca last September. McKenna out to Tierney on the left-hand side. Infield to McGregor. He's carrying it up towards the edge of the centre circle. Rolls it to Jack. And out to McCrory on this near side. McCrory infield to McGregor. Left-footed pass along the deck to the left of the circle for McKenna. Little flick by Christie, but he's given it away. Gibraltar pick it up on this near side, but Shanklin does well to win it back almost immediately. Here's McCrory now to McGregor. McGregor then just toes it out to Scott McKenna, another whose future seems to be up in the air right now. He's just back from his loan at Copenhagen and played in the Champions League with them against Manchester City, on loan from Nottingham Forest. He fell out of favour, so it's another one whose future isn't certain. McCrory infield to McGregor. He finds McKenna, who goes back to Porteous, and first time ball out to Tierney on the far side. Bouncing ball, controls on the chest. Side football to Christie, over on the left-hand touchline. Christie's been exclusively out there since James Forrest went off. Here's Jack and Porteous. And McCrory flicks it forward to Shanklin inside the box. Back to Porteous, the final 10 minutes. Porteous with a cross, it's cut out and then he's brought down. That will be a free kick down on this near side. And the man who committed the challenge has gone down injured himself there.
Yeah, I think he took one in the unmentionables, I think. So it would take him a wee minute just to get himself back to his feet. John McGinn's going to swing it in swinger. And he's to get another couple of goals last 10 minutes just to put a bit more shine on it. It's not been a brilliant performance.
Yeah, it's been a real slog for just about everyone watching this. Austin McPhee's down there, so this is one of his, potentially one of his magic moments.
All right, okay, let's see.
McGinn over the free kick. It's at the right angle of the box, bends it in, and it's certainly not one of his magic moments.
It's not been John's best international performance.
Why do you, as a footballer, is it just the whole optics of this? The championship's coming up next week. There's barely anyone inside the stadium. It's flat. The atmosphere's flat. You're trying not to get injured.
It's all of those things. It's the trying not to get injured. You're playing a wee bit in yourself. There is no atmosphere, so you've got to try and create the tempo yourself, which we've not really managed to do. The opposition you're playing against, it's easy for you, so you kind of don't have to really push yourself that hard in the game. And because of that, you don't raise your levels. So a number of those things,
Throw in over on the far side for Tierney. There are highlights of the game tonight, incidentally, on Sports Scene.
I'm glad I'm not doing those.
Well, you get to see Christie's goal anyway.
Yeah.
And he took it well.
He did.
Here's McCrory on this near side. Midway inside the Gibraltar half, finds Jack, goes back the way though. Then Jack squares it to McGregor. Then out to Tierney on the far side. 7 of 90 left. Christie back to the underlapping Tierney. His cross is cut out and goes behind for the corner. Over on the far side, the Scotland left as they attack the goal to the right. Tierney thought about taking a quick one there, but he's going to leave it for Christie. Thank goodness for Ryan Christie. Otherwise, we could have been looking at a goalless situation going into the closing stages.
I mean, the last 20 minutes of this game have been incredibly hard
to watch. In comes the corner though, and it's headed behind for another one on the reverse side for Scotland as they try and finish with a flourish here. Just that one game to go after this one before Germany. And John McGinn over the set play on this near side. Left-footed, bends it in on top of the goalkeeper who holds on comfortably. And it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 1.
Not his best corner. I mean, this team just give you the ball straight back. That's us good possession of it again.
Tierney.
Good pass.
Slipping it forward and looking for Adams. You called that a bit too early, didn't you?
Yeah.
Easily cleared by Sargent.
Just anything to kind of say anything different at this
Whip
stage.
up some kind of frenzy, Tierney on the far side to Christie, tries to flick it back to him, and he's giving it straight to Casiaro, who's got the skipper's armband now. Veteran, 42 now, Lee Casiaro.
42, is he?
Yeah. It's out on that right-hand side for DeBar, who's lost out. 2 Scotland players around him, and then it's smuggled forward to Tierney on the left-hand side, puts the ball back towards the 18-yard line. Gibraltar get it half away. McGinn has it. Looking for Shea Adams, who rifles it home. Brilliant finish from Shea Adams, whose international goal drought's well and truly over now. Good work down the left. Adams, right-hand side of the penalty spot, and he hammers it home across the keeper into the top left. Brilliant volleyed finish. Gibraltar 0, Scotland 2, 5 to play.
An excellent finish, really good finish from Shea Adams. John McGinn with some brilliant work at the edge of the box. Spots Adams at the back post and plenty of space, clips it to the back post. He could have taken a touch, he could have gone for a side foot, but he puts his laces straight through it, arrowed it into the far side, almost into the top corner. Brilliant finish. Thankfully, another goal.
Gibraltar are going to make a change here, and Jayden Bartolo, who's a striker, is going to come on to replace DeBar, who's getting some boos from the Tartan Army. A couple of altercations in the first half, and 18-year-old Bartolo, who made his debut in those Nations League playouts against Lithuania in March, comes on for his second cap. Born in Slough, and he plays his football for Wealdstone FC.
Touch of the office there.
Slough, yeah. It is Gibraltar in possession, out to the right-hand side, slipped to Casiaro, he's given it away. Dreadful ball, here's Shankland. Out to the left-hand side, the cross is coming in towards McGinn's, headed half away. Scotland looking to find a third, which would make the scoreline look much better than it had for such a long time tonight. McCrory puts it out for a Gibraltar throw-in down on this near side, midway inside the Scotland half. It's going to be very interesting to hear what Steve Clarke has to say about this match. You can't imagine he's particularly enjoyed watching it.
I don't know what you'll think that the team have got from it. You know what I mean? It's kind of...
He'll come out with something. He's got to come out with something, because it justifies taking the fixture on in the first place. And
yeah, I suppose
so
the victory, stopping that run of winless run is the key thing. But we've got to build on this on Friday and reach a better level of performance than this evening's been. You know, all the preparation for the tournaments now fast closing in. We've got to peak and hit their very best levels just over a week's time.
McGinn finds McKenna left of the centre circle, out to the touchline for Tierney, who rolls it infield for McGregor. Square ball for Ryan Jack. Jack's got Adams ahead of him. Instead he decides to slip it out to McCrory on this near side. It's level with the edge of the D of the Gibraltar box. Short ball to Adams, back to Jack. Jack then digs it out to McGregor. Ryan Jack again. And now McKenna. McKenna with the low ball out to Tierney on the left-hand touchline, faced by Casiaro. Thought about taking him on down the left. In fact, here he goes. Tierney, and that's good play. Traditional run from him. Left-hand side of the box. He pulls it back. It's cut out there by Jolly and goes behind for a Scotland corner. Their latest. They lead 2-0.
Excellent play from Kieran Tierney on the left-hand side, facing his man up, going past him, showing a good turn of pace. Opted for the cutback when there's bodies in the box, and the defender gets a toe in, out for yet another corner.
Yeah, it was one of those runs like when he burned away from Carvajal against Spain at Hampden, before McTominay ended up scoring the second on the night. Scotland having to wait just a moment here. Christie waiting to take the corner. The ref's not happy. He's keeping an eye on a couple of altercations in the box. Christie takes the corner. McKenna with the header, but the ref couldn't wait to blow his whistle there, and he's just blown it. Free kick Gibraltar.
So much pushing and grappling and shoving in the box before the ball even came in. There's been a lot of that tonight. I think Kieran Tierney was trying to get a block on to make way for McKenna maybe, but it was obvious that the referee, he was hungry to blow his whistle there.
Well, we're in the 90th minute.
There you go, Liam.
I don't think anyone who's been watching this game will be too disappointed that it's nearing its climax.
No, I'm disappointed we didn't see Doak. That was one thing I wanted to see this evening.
Yeah, if you're not going to put him in for this one, when are you?
Yeah.
In this international window. I mean, you could put him on as a sub potentially against the Finns on Friday. Of course, he hasn't played much football either. Maybe he's just not.
That'd be one reason
to
get
get
him on the
squad,
pitch.
isn't he? Yeah. Wait and see what happens on Friday, but doesn't look as though he's getting on tonight. Here's Jack for Scotland, rolls it out to the left for Tierney. Just wonder if, I mean, they're not under pressure at any point in this game, clearly, with regards to defending. Just wonder if maybe he just doesn't feel this is the ideal scenario to put him in, because it has been a slog.
Yeah, I'd have thought it would have been a good opportunity for him to go and get a cap and get some minutes and show what he can do. Maybe he will on Friday.
Tierney to Christie, down the line he flicks it for Shankland. How gutted will he be? He must have thought, I'm going to get a few Scotland goals tonight, and it's just not happened for him. He's won a free kick over on the touchline.
He's not really had any good opportunities, has it? It's just not fallen for him.
Christie, left angle of the box for Ryan Jack. Shankland's made a run, Jack's found him. Shankland looking to lay it back to Jack, so he lays it back to Christie. In comes the cross, which is flicked away. McCrory will try and keep it alive down on this near side. And the challenge comes, you can hear that. And it's gone off McCrory, then off the defender and out for a Scotland throw. McCrory takes it. And back to Porteous. Into the centre circle for McKenna. He's had 3 different central defensive partners tonight, Porteous. Started with Hanley, then Cooper, and he went off injured, replaced by McKenna. And we await news of Liam Cooper post-match. We hope that he's going to be okay. There's McGinn. And McKenna to McGregor. And now McGinn again to Porteous. And then Jack on this near side. Finds McCrory. And then back to Ryan Jack. Scotland 2-0 up in second half stoppage time. There's McGinn. We're going to get it out to that far side. He's done well. He's found Tierney. Level with the Gibraltar penalty spot. Now he's going towards the byline again. Tierney. He thinks he's getting a corner. Well, the Northern Irish referee's got other ideas. It is a goal kick. And it stays Gibraltar 0, Scotland 2.
It's actually good defending, you have to say, from the Gibraltar right back. Tierney trying to go past him again on the outside, but got his body in the way. Let it run out for a goal kick.
Goal kick for Gibraltar. Their stadium is currently being upgraded back home, which is why they've returned to Faro, where they played their early UEFA qualifying matches, including that one here against Scotland. And that was the game. They won 6-0. Stephen Fletcher scored hat-tricks in both those games against Gibraltar. But that was the game, of course. Gordon Strachan and the team went over and got the photograph taken over on the far side. That stand over there was full of Scotland supporters who'd all booked up early after the positive start to the qualifying campaign as well. It looked like it was going to be a big celebration of qualification for Euro 2016. It didn't work out that way, thanks primarily to Tbilisi. Gibraltar have the ball in the midfield, and it's Bartolo looking to switch it out to that far side. We're into the fourth and final minute as a big deep cross comes in, and Zander Clark holds on under his crossbar, gets a touch of the ball, and he's I mean, will this kit even need washed?
I think he's probably touched the ball 5 times.
But he's not done anything more strenuous than you, and you're not having to change after this, are you?
Well, you say that.
It is warm. McGregor to Jack, and out to McCrory on the near side. Maybe they'll fashion one last opportunity here. Ryan Jack moves it to the left of the circle for McKenna. Low ball out to Tierney. Christie down the touchline. Christie moving it back to Tierney. And then to Christie again. Works a quick give and go there. Lovely back heel from Adams. Back to Christie, but he just couldn't quite get it past Jolly. Gibraltar clear. And I make that time up here on the Algarve. The referee blows for full time. And Scotland's winless run, which stood at 7, comes to an end. A 2-0 victory here against the Minnows of Gibraltar. It wasn't the goal fest that Steve Clarke would have hoped it would be. He's down there exchanging handshakes with the Gibraltar coaches. Standing down there now with his hands behind his back. We'll hear from him shortly. 2 second-half goals, and all the Tartan Army got to celebrate in the end. Christie and Adams both fine finishes. Christie with a left into the top right. Adams with a wonderful volley into the top left corner. Christie's was into the top right. And it is a win. But that just leaves one more preparation match before they take on the Germans in 10 days' time. That is looming large. That's going to be an almighty test, regardless of the form Scotland are in. It is a win, but it wasn't particularly convincing. Missed a plethora of chances in that first half. The second half was fairly pedestrian, but at least they got the goals that secure the win, and they've edged ever closer to Euro 2024 getting underway. It finishes here in the Algarve sunshine. Gibraltar 0, Scotland 2.
This is Sports Sound.
From